Welcome to Art on the Floor. I'm nature artist Fern Rivers, and today we're starting a new project. Let's check with my associate Franz to see what the producers have in mind. Hey Franz, how's it going? What's our assignment for today? Why not? Spray painting again? Bronze sculpture? What's a night wreath? Thanks, I think. Night wreath.
Go to the archives. Go to the archives, Fern. Go now.
So I went to the store and bought some cool things. As you can see here, grapevine wreath. We have some night sky organza, complete with annoying glitter substance. And some starlight on a string. But something is missing. I'm just not sure what that is. Oh, what's this? It seems to be a moth. How fortuitous and inspiring. Let's take a closer look. We definitely need to add some moths to our wreath. What a bright idea. So I did some moth research. They're fascinating insects that undergo complete metamorphosis. They start as a tiny egg laid by the female. Then they hatch as eating machines that eat and grow and shed until it's time for a change. With their silk glands, some moths spin this protective sleeping bag called a cocoon. While inside, as a pupa, they dissolve into goo and their body is reformed as a reproductive machine. The adult emerges, ready for love. In some species, they don't even eat because they have no mouths. Shortly after one wild night, the end is nigh, but not before more eggs are laid. Look at the chemoreceptors on this guy. The male's antenna can pick up the female's scent from over a mile away. She uses chemicals called pheromones to get his attention. That is some perfume. What moth shall we design? I did some sketches of our largest species, the giant silk moths. You may notice many of these moths are named for characters in Greek mythology. I think they are stunning, even more so than some of our butterflies. Moths are butterflies' nocturnal cousins. They tend to be fuzzier and thicker, with feathery or thread-like antennae. They also tend to be dull or pale in color, but not these guys. And for the record, most moths do not eat your clothes. The Cecropia is the largest native moth in North America, and its wingspan can be over 6 inches long. We're about to embark on a mold-making, resin-casting journey. My first step was to print life-size images from which I can make patterns. These patterns will be helpful as I sculpt the moths from air-dry clay. A word in memoriam to Booger, the first giant silk moth I ever knew. She was rescued from some evildoers who sought to tear her from her cocoon. I raised her to adulthood, a big, beautiful Cecropia moth. I think we're ready to hit the floor. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the montage as we go from clay sculpting to silicone mold making and finally to epoxy resin casting. Indigo, for thousands of years, was a dye, not a color in the visible spectrum. Its name may come from Greek, indikon, which means from India. There were 30-some species of plants used to make this dye, but the process was always tedious, foul, and often deadly. Indigo or woad plants were harvested, fermented, oxidized, heated, and dried, which took several months to complete. The alkaline solutions for fermentation caused skin discoloration, emitted toxic fumes, and attracted flies. One such recipe uses, ideally, urine from boys who have not yet reached puberty. Making the dye was the job of slaves, who often died in the process. It was a dye for those who could afford it, until 1880, when synthetic indigo was made. But even then, the British called it navy blue, not indigo. Guess how they used it? Isaac Newton included indigo as a color in his visible spectrum in 1672, but only as an afterthought, to ensure there were 7 colors in all. Why? Because 7 is magical! His indigo was really what we would call blue, not the blue-violet color we've come to understand indigo to be. And what do we understand about indigo? Blue genes. Nuff said. By the way, scientists are bioengineering bacteria to produce a more eco-friendly way to dye our genes. Isn't that quite a thing? I hope you enjoyed the making of the Night Wreath. Please join me again for more Art on the Floor.